Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another 3-Minute Thoughts. My name is Derek, and in the next 3 minutes, we're going to take a look at Genesis chapters 22 through 24. In this section of the book of Genesis, we meet up with Abraham and Sarah, and now their kiddos, Isaac, especially as the story of Isaac and the test of Abraham's faith. So these chapters are really strong, pivotal moments in Abraham's faith journey. They demonstrate that God has called Abraham to a task much larger than himself, and it demonstrates God's provision for Israel moving forward through a covenant that God established with Abraham that Isaac would become a part of here. All right, so Genesis chapter 2, God is testing Abraham's faith by telling him to sacrifice his own son. Remember, this is the child that Abraham had prayed for. This is the child that God had promised. And so God says, go sacrifice your son. All right, so Abraham obeys. He takes Isaac up to this mountain known as Mount Moriah. And as they're going up, Isaac notices that they have everything they need for the sacrifice, right? They have the fire, they have the wood, they have all the binding materials, but they don't have an animal. And so when he notices there's nothing to sacrifice, he says, Dad, what are we going to do? And Abraham says, God will provide. And if you fast forward in the story, you'll see that Abraham binds his son, puts him on the altar that he makes, and he's getting ready to sacrifice his own son, following God's command, and God intervenes through an angel, and he stops him, provides another sacrifice to be a substitute. Now, this is a really great foreshadow of what's going to happen in the New Testament, because on the cross, we are the ones who deserve to go there, kind of like Isaac is placed on the altar. We should be placed on the cross, but instead, God provides a substitute. For Isaac, it was a ram. For you and I, it's Jesus. Great little foreshadow of what's going to come in the New Testament. In chapter 23, Sarah is going to die. She lived to a ripe old age of 127 years old. There's a conversation surrounding the burial of Sarah. They were going to give some land for burial, but Abraham insists on paying. Then in chapter 24, Abraham is advanced in years. In other words, he's getting old, nearing his own death. Isaac wants to find a wife, so Abraham sends his servant to go find a wife for Isaac, talks about this prayer, all the stipulations, read over it, it's kind of a cool thing. The servant goes and does exactly as Abraham says, and this woman walks up and follows everything exactly the way it was predicted. This is Rebecca. So at the well, Rebecca fulfills the prayer's criteria, and the servant praises God and meets her family, and Rebecca agrees to marry Isaac and leaves with the servant. So Isaac gets married and finds comfort in his wife at the death of his mom. That's it for today. Be well, friends.